quiet seaside town, an evil lain to rest centuries ago has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
And welcome to Tabletop Gold, The Roots of Ruin. That's the name of the series, and then the name of the sub-series. My name is Lars Casteen. That's the host's name. I host the show, and I'm here joined today by the same four friends that I always am joined by. I'm going to let you know, listener, you're running out of episodes during which you can be hearing people say their names after I said their names. So you should really try to listen to what these voices sound like, because it's kind of bumming me out that I'm continuing to repeat them over and over again every episode. David Chernicoff, the Tin Man, is here.
Is the name of my name, who am one of the players.
Zoe Chernicoff is here.
I am. Hello.
Did you just say I ham?
Maybe.
Let's check the tape.
There will be no way to say.
No way to say.
Come back in post and drop back in her saying I ham.
Or just me saying ham. Ham. Oh, I actually do have an app that has a button that you can push that just says the word ham on my phone. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That feels like such a
it's an early
Apple App Store, like within the
Vintage.
first 4 months of the iPhone coming out. The only apps were just things that was like, it's a button and it pours you a beer on the screen or whatever.
Holding the phone up to your face to make your mouth a monkey's face.
Yeah.
Here's the ham button. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ham. Okay. Robin Lange is here.
Am I really?
Yeah. And Armat Humphreys is here as well. Hello.
I can't hear the word ham for whatever reason. This is just lodged in my brain without my mind immediately reliving. I don't even know how old. This is one of those where I don't even want to guess how old the SNL sketch is, because I'm going to think it's 3 years and it's actually like 11. But
right.
John Hamm's John Hamm.
Ham and Bubbly? Oh, no, that was the sequel. Ham and Bubbly was the sequel to John Hamm's John Hamm.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
I never caught Ham and Bubbly, but John Hamm's John Hamm, where it's just John Hamm sitting with his roll of toilet paper that's just ham.
That's got to be 8 to 10 years. It's got to be 8 to 10 years
old. It's also unknowable.
So much further back than you realize.
It's true. The future is advancing upon us incredibly quickly, which brings me to something I want to talk to you about today. And that is, before we get into the game, I saw somebody on Twitter the other day posting stuff from an AI where you feed this artificial intelligence like text, and then it populates more text beyond it. And I thought this would be fun to do for the podcast, because I fed the beginning of our show opening monologue into it, and I just want to share this with you.
Oh, that's
wow. Good. Oh, that's why you didn't ask us what we wanted to do for the opening today. You had it all planned.
Yeah, I have major hype right now.
Yeah, algorithm take the wheel.
So I fed this website 6b.eleuther.ai. I fed it the following phrase: in a quiet seaside town, an evil lain to rest centuries ago has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. And here's how our story continues.
Wow.
Beneath the shadows of the moonlit forest, the forest watchman is uneasy. The trees whisper of a terrible evil, and he knows it. His name is Hoot, and he has lived in the forest for as long as he can remember.
Hoot?
One night, Hoot
As
is
long
haunted.
as Hoot can remember?
Yeah, as long as he can remember. Yeah. One night, Hoot is haunted by a strange dream, a vision of the day he was to be sacrificed to the devil himself. The evil that Hoot has seen in his vision is real, and he knows he must act quickly. He is terrified of the man that has come to the forest, but he must trust his intuition. Doesn't that sound like a good podcast?
Absolutely.
Or a perfectly acceptable 6th grade fantasy story.
I am so
Yeah.
invested in Hoot now.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
gosh.
like a perfectly acceptable 16th grade fantasy story.
I wanna
Yeah.
wait. There isn't there. I wanna like create that character. I wanna roll that character up.
Right. Hoot is, we're
If
required.
anyone's character dies, Hoot is the new PC.
So I took the liberty of sending the introductory text of all of your characters to this AI thing,
yes.
and I have sent each of you an email with
Oh
the
my
text
God.
that I fed to the AI in bold,
Oh, good.
and then the rest of that text in not bold, whatever that's called, normal. So I want to go around. I want to start with David, but I would like it if you could open the email that I just sent you.
Yeah.
And please share both what's in bold, which is the text from our show, and then the rest of it. And many
Okay.
of these cut off halfway through a sentence. Apparently, that's just a quirk of this artificial intelligence that it like chooses not to close things off and put a full stop at the end.
Okay. So, she is a strikingly tall, broad-shouldered, muscular woman with a heavy steel shield and a flail strapped to her back. She has sun-darkened skin and sun-lightened hair, cropped short at the sides and bound up on top in a single braid that drops down between her shoulders. She is She is Magdaruna Lacewing Skullcrow. I can see
This is
the.
the
I can
part that
see-
we already wrote.
I know, but I can see what comes next. Sorry.
He's treading. He's starting to wade out into
All right.
some choppy
All right,
water.
I'll take it back.
Right,
I'll
he's
take it
knee
back.
deep.
Excuse me. All right, here's where the AI picks up the story. She is a hard woman. She is a hard woman because she knows her life is at stake, and she is hard because she is a woman. She is a woman, and she is hard. And she is Magdaruna, the leader of the Lacewing tribe. The Lacewings are a nomadic tribe, traveling with their herds of cattle from their homes in the vast wilderness known as the Badlands to the northern city of Thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
Excuse me.
The world building that the AI gets into is remarkable.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
could never come up with this.
From their homes in the vast wilderness known as the Badlands to the northern city of Thunderclap. There they sell their herd to a buyer who will take them north and south, east and west, carrying their cargo of cows.
Oh, wow. Cows at the end. Yeah, is this canon? Do we have to take this as canon?
I think this is all canon. I think that in the spirit of collaborative storytelling,
Right.
Luther.ai has as much of a voice in what it is that we're doing as
Yeah.
we do. So
That's right.
I want to move on to Zoe next.
All right. Let's see. All right. He's silver-haired, but obviously youthful, and his upright stride gives you the impression of someone confident and friendly. You might call his cut jawline and physique handsome, if you could only remember him in any meaningful way, even moments after he's walked away. In fact, the only thing clearly of note about him, aside from his too early salt and pepper hair, are his brilliant gold eyes and his matching cape. He is Norman Core. Oh man, just the start here. All right. This is where it clicks over, where the algorithm takes the wheel, as it were. Norman is a doctor who has always been interested in your strange circumstances and is willing to help you in any way he can. He has a great deal of experience in both medicine and magic and is willing to share his knowledge and experience.
This is pretty.
He is
On
also
point.
willing to listen to your story and to encourage you to talk about your problem. He's not entirely sure if you've been possessed, or if you've been in a coma, or if you are just suffering from a very strange mental illness.
He's not
He's-
entirely sure.
He's not, but it doesn't matter. He's willing to consider all of these possibilities and to do everything he can to help you. If anything, I feel like it's overly generous to old Norman.
I feel like this is the self that Norman thinks he is presenting.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
That's delightful.
Well, that's incredible.
Yeah,
So
it's
far,
pretty good.
so far, all three are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's move on to Robin next.
Okay. Trill is your average 20-something gnome in that there is nothing normal about her. Her skin has a glowy quality to it. Her hair is blue and purple, and her clothes clash brightly, demanding attention. Standing at about the same height as the children around her, Trill strums her harp as she sings into their eyes, warning them of the terror that lay beyond the city limits. She is Trilphus Huddlelob, but everyone calls her Trill. This is where the AI takes over. Trill is the daughter of the Lord of the Sky and the Lady of the Sea, and is the rightful heir to their position. She was born on the island of Delazaland, which is a mountainous island off the coast of the main continent. Trill was not born with the power of her parents, but after a year of training, she is a powerful wizard and able to cast spells that no one else can except for her father. She is powerful, but a bit awkward. She has high self-esteem, but is still a young girl. She loves to eat and laugh
Yeah,
And
they
that's
really left us hanging on that one.
Dun dun dun.
I'm so invested in these.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something there too. Like they're very interested in the mother and the father, which is not something we've touched on with the character at all. But
But it's making me think we should.
I feel like it describes me more than Trill in some ways. She loves to eat and laugh. Yes.
yeah.
I love to eat and laugh.
And then the last one that I want to do is Armat's, and this one blew my mind.
This is kind of extraordinary. Okay, so this is what I started with. Vadim is a tall, hooded man in dark leather armor, carrying an Aldori dueling sword and a brace of daggers with bone handles strapped across his chest in a bandolier. This is Vadim Drakescu, a champion of Pharasma, and this is where the AI takes over. Vadim Drakescu, parenthesis, Mighty Vadim, is a player character from the Dungeons and Dragons, parenthesis, D&D, role-playing game. He's a player character in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting.
False.
Vadim Drakescu was created for the Dungeons and Dragons game by Dave Grossman and Ken Ralston. The character was designed to be a dangerous fighter, scare quotes, that is, again, scare quotes, strong, fast, and ruthless. Vadim Drakescu was introduced in the 1996 Forgotten Realms novel, The Halfling's Gem by R.A. Salvatore, which, incidentally, if I'm right, is the first of the Icewind Dale trilogy and was very influential on me as a kid.
Sorry, wait, is this still the AI or?
No, that's just
Okay.
But yeah, apparently they found out he's just a Drizzt clone. Womp womp womp.
So the one thing that I will say about the text that I use for Vadim, because Vadim joined the game later, the initial intro text that we had for Vadim was like not quite as direct and like didn't tell the story as directly. So that text, this is a tall hooded man in dark leather armor that Armat just read, was just Armat off the cuff, like just talking. It wasn't written out the way that like the rest of them were. And it's amazing to me that this algorithm is able to detect like D&D language as D&D language. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, no, that kind of blew my mind. Although, point of order, he was not created by Dave Grossman and Ken Ralston.
Right.
He was introduced in the Halfling Gem, though. That is just canon. Yeah.
You stand up for yourself, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how accurate or how much it resonates in various ways. You know?
Yes.
Totally.
I mean, it gave us Hoot, and I feel like it understood our characters. So beautiful.
I gotta tell you, I love Hoot. That was the moment when I plugged that, because that was the first thing I plugged into it. Because I was just
You're like sold. I'm sold.
This actually just gave me a great idea for something I now want to do with my 6th graders. Like having
if you show them this, you will never see a paper written by them ever again.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Oh, they all already know about these things anyway. We have to block so many of these sites constantly.
Well, if Hoot shows up in any of your students' papers, I think you know exactly what's happened.
I'm just trying to figure out now, is there like an owl ancestry? Because there's a crow ancestry.
You could do a beastkin. You could do a beastkin if you wanted to. You could be a half owl.
Yeah.
You could be an owl.
There's owl
human.
bears.
There are.
Now I want to be, but now like I want to make Hoot. I want to make that character.
Why don't you roll up a level 3 Hoot, and we will put him up on the Discord if you want to see that character sheet.
I'm so excited to see it.
Level 3 Hoot.
Wait, I would love for any listener interpretations of this character.
Hoot?
Oh
Yes,
my God, yeah.
yes,
Absolutely.
Please.
Like we can roll some up. Y'all can roll some up. What does everybody see in your what's
Show us
Yeah.
your Hoot, y'all.
Go on Path Builder, roll up your Hoot, and that sounds so dirty.
Yeah, I was wondering why Lars
Roll up your
created that. Why Lars created that Hoot
Roll up
channel on
your
the Discord earlier this week. Seemed low
But now we
context
know.
to me at the time. Lars, let's create a Hoot channel now, and people will learn what it is 4 weeks from now when we ask them to put these character sheets.
Okay, I'm going to make a channel under the contribute to the show banner. It's just going to be called Hoot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Okay, done. We did
Perfect.
it. Perfect.
This is why your Discord's a
good.
great place to be.
Yeah. If you want to be confused by bizarre channels, come on over. You'll never know what's happening. Okay, let's do it. Let's move on. Let's get into it. If you are enjoying Tabletop Gold, please rate and review us on your podcast app of choice. You can rate things on Spotify now. If you have the phone app, if you try to do it on the website, it won't work because Spotify is marginally committed to podcasts. Let's get into it. Let's play our game. You're back in the town of Otari, situated in a cluttered area at the rear of the open-air tent that makes up Rin's Wonders, the local magical oddities shop. The leader of a group of Morlock cultists sits in front of you, tied down to a chair, a few feet away from the body of Joffrey, a thief whom his cult had sacrificed to their goddess, the Ghost Queen. The stars loom overhead and the clock ticks ever closer to midnight as the crisp spring air keeps you focused as the interrogation of your captive begins. I want to mention that we are breaking off a 5 next episode. This is episode 34. The party has roughly 3 million hero points between the 4 of them. And you will be reset to 1 at the end of this episode. So everyone's about to get real talented. Probably.
Hoorah.
So Zoe, the cat is now out of the bag about one of the choices that you made at 3rd level for Norman.
That's right.
Because it sounds like you are talking to and can understand this Morlock.
That is right. Because when he leveled up, it seemed both useful, and I really enjoyed the sort of narrative idea of Norman becoming multilingual. So he took the multilingual skill feat that he got at level 3, and with that chose to speak Undercommon and Aklo, which we have seen a lot of, but haven't been able to. And not that we didn't all have a great time with that dictionary. We'll see what comes of it. So he's now fluent in Undercommon and in Aklo.
So let's pick up from where we left off. The last thing that happened was this Morlock looked to Norman and said something to the effect of,
"Our pilgrimage is a failure. We have let the Ghost Queen down. No!"
and he starts whimpering as he's in this chair.
And Norman has taken the dictionary and sort of either handed it off to someone behind him or let it fall if no one took it, and said something to the effect of, "We won't need that anymore. It's time for you to tell us what's going on."
And your words fall on deaf ears, it seems like, for a moment, because this Morlock's huge opaque white eyes have opened and are staring straight up. And he says,
Oh, I am blinded by the light of these hideous stars. Ah!
And he just starts weeping as he looks up at the open sky from this open tent.
I have let the Ghost Queen down.
And he looks extremely upset.
Norman, he's like so pleased with himself that he can communicate with this guy. So he's sort of like, he's telling us he's let the Ghost Queen down. He's trying to like relay things, but he's like all caught up in his excitement that he can now sort of lead this circus that's about to unfold. So he sort of says, yes, our stars are brilliant, but you need to tell me what you fear that Ghost Queen will do to you.
Well, I'm sure she will exact vengeance upon us. I can't imagine that her vengeance would be worse than this horrible air, though. Maybe this is her vengeance. Maybe this is what happens to you when you fail to satisfy.
How many did you have to kill to satisfy her?
We made many sacrifices to create the kingdom of the Ghost Queen. We found those little blue, pathetic, weak creatures that we kicked them out of their land, and we sacrificed many of them to the Ghost Queen. But I suppose they were so pathetic and insignificant that it didn't really appease her all that much. But dozens of them, our own fallen, we dedicated to her, and we only were able to sacrifice one of those intruders from above. But I guess we should have done that faster.
Yeah, I can see the Mifflet's not satisfying her. Hey, you're talking about Ning Ning Bonobo. Did she have another name that you knew of? Did anyone ever call her Belcora?
And as soon as you say the name Belcora, he screams as though a brand has been pushed into his forehead. He's just like,
You must not speak her name. Never will I hear you say that beauteous name again.
And Norman looks back at everyone. He's like, if you don't want to hear that noise again, let's call her Kelbora for now. I don't know why he's screaming like that, but it seems to upset him. So we can use that, but that was a pretty awful noise.
Can I ask a quick question? How is everybody else feeling about the fact that Norman is suddenly seemingly able to carry on this conversation?
Can we understand any of this?
No, I think to you guys, it's just nang nang bonobo, nang nang bonobo, bonobo, nang 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 bonobo, bonobo.
Trill's just been
And
watching this go
screaming.
back and forth, and she's kind of, at this moment, she's looking over at, she's looking at Vadim and Mag's going, Did you guys know did you guys know that he learned all of that just by reading the dictionary?
No, I'm as dumbfounded as you are. This is extraordinary.
I agree. It makes me wonder whether she's known this language all along. I mean, look, guys, I don't wonder that, but fucking... I think it would seem more reasonable to Mag that Norman was lying about not knowing the language than that Norman learned it in the last hour and a half.
Poor Mag trying to find reason for madness.
Yeah. I don't know. Not necessarily the most lingual lady herself. She's a hard woman. She's hard because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Being a woman is hard.
Being a woman is hard. I just want to append one thing, which is that in that conversation, it was all nang nang bonobo until the word Belcora was spoken. Like that proper noun, if that makes sense. Like the proper noun came through
Yeah.
clean.
Right, I feel like that and then the screaming, right? Like you would have
Right,
gotten the
right.
cause and effect
Yes.
of those two.
And during all of that, though, Norman's been translating for us and turning back and saying, from what you were saying, Zoe.
My take is that he's passing on like I mean, right now we haven't said a lot,
Snippets?
right? But he's passing on like 40% of what he's learning. He's intending to, but I think he's so excited that he can like have this conversation. Like, imagine if you got off the plane in France and then like suddenly found you were fluent in French, but it never, I don't know, you'd just be like, hell yeah, I'm getting pastries. I'm like,
So this is like a Neo in the Matrix, I know Kung Fu
Ooh, eh?
type moment.
yeah, maybe.
I know Undercommon.
I think for the sake of keeping the game going, Zoe, if there's something that you don't want to translate, let's just say I'm not translating that. And then the rest of it, we can assume that other people are able
Sure.
to speak through Norman.
That works. So he passes on the thing about calling her. So yeah, let's just say Kelbora if anyone means the other mean lady we don't like, because that noise was terrible. Okay, how long have you all been living at the keep? He says to the Morlock.
Oh, well, we made our pilgrimage relatively recently. We were living in the rock that was our home, and we sensed the presence of the Ghost Queen. Several, what's the surface word, weeks ago, I guess.
Oh, okay, so very recently. How did you sense her presence?
Well, we were living small lives. We didn't know that the vision of the goddess becoming awake again would strike each of us in our own way, and we started convening between each other and whispering, "Do you feel the Ghost Queen?" And then one of us would say, "Yes, I feel the Ghost Queen." And we'd formed a pilgrimage, and we climbed through the rock, and we found the structure. The Ghost Queen's domain.
You worshipped her before.
We did not know of her until she manifested in our minds.
Oh, well, what better person to worship than someone who manifests in your mind, as I always say. Were the sacrifices to try and reawaken her?
They were to get her attention. We want her to know how we love her, and the sacrifices that we would make to be a part of her own infinite divinity. And the suffering that I am facing now makes me realize that she was paying attention to everything we did, and that she is displeased with us.
Did you all live in the whole floor where we found you? How many of you were there?
There were many of us that left and began our pilgrimage, but we fought a great holy war against some disgusting freaks on the way. And we found ourselves in a library, and we were accosted by the unholy, and many of us were lost, taken forever from us, the Ghost Queen's first sacrifices. Some of them we had to leave behind because they fell ill from those freaks' disgusting disease. And after our holy battle, we moved into our new home, the one that you took from us. And there were probably 10 of us left, starting a new world, a new kingdom of the Ghost Queen.
I'm realizing now I didn't introduce myself. What did you say your name was?
My name is Gralgust.
Hi, Gralgust.
It's like August with a GR at the front and an L right there in the middle.
Gralgust. You're right. No, yeah, I've heard it before. I'm Thomas Jefferson. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, I think you might be canceled these days, Mr. Jefferson.
Wow, that gets all the way down in the keep from someone who sacrifices people to a ghost queen. Interesting. Okay. Well, interesting. So there was a black room with some symbols. Did y'all live there? Was that part of the world you were setting up?
Well, there were parts of our territory that we had not yet conquered because of that water monster that kept killing us and harassing us. And I asked you nicely to kill that water monster, and instead you attacked. Well, at first I sent my person to attack you, but then you...
Wait, the one we killed, though, is the water monster, you mean?
Oh, no.
Who was the beautiful, lovely slug that we maybe accidentally killed?
Oh, my pet, whom you exploded.
Yes, sorry about that. Big misunderstanding.
I called him Jefferson Thomas.
Oh, what a coincidence. Guys, the slug had the same name as me. I mean, as Thomas. Well, you get it, right?
Yes, a crazy coincidence.
Weird
But
world.
no, that was my pet that I found, and I freed him, and he became my ward.
A real gem. So there was a different water monster, you're saying?
Oh, yes. This horrible water monster that picked us off and killed us and stole all our treasure.
Where, like, say in relation to where we found you? Where was that little friendo? We want to avenge you, to apologize.
Well,
for all
that's
the
what I'm
things.
saying, is that there was a door that was locked that we never managed to get in because that horrible beast kept climbing out of its pool and picking us off one by one. If we had managed to sacrifice it to the Ghost Queen, you would not have found us so easy to contend with.
You were really formidable. I mean, I thought that was really great before.
Yes, well, I have a special version of mirror image that's incredibly powerful.
Yes,
Sure.
that was very difficult to deal with.
It's unfair, some might say.
I really threw a lot of double slices at it.
Yes, I know. It was incredible how well my magic held up to your relentless onslaught. Thomas Jefferson, thank you for translating so quickly between us all.
Yeah, well, I just, I'm here to help. So you don't know the dark room. Did you go in the room with the big blue light? Did you see the Ghost Queen's light? Is that her light? What's going on with the big blue light?
Oh, yes. When we approached that light, the energy within it felt like the energy that called to us in our minds from her.
Oh, yeah, it does something to me, too. I get what you're saying. And right before we were leaving, you were asleep for this part. We came across a demon, a Zelbub. He's not with us anymore. Did you meet him?
Yeah, that guy sucks. I hate him.
Yeah, he's gone now.
He
so
kept trying to clean our area and yelling at us to leave. And I said, "You are an apostate to the Ghost Queen." And then he spoke the forbidden name many times. We screamed at him. And he eventually learned to leave us alone. He would be the next that we sacrificed.
Norman, ask him more about the water monster.
Yeah. So you mentioned that terrible water monster that killed many of your people. Sounds awful. I'm sorry about that. How big was he? What did he do to kill people?
Well, he would open his mouth and swallow us and kill us.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sometimes he would drag us into the water and thrash about back and forth, snapping our necks and gobbling us up. I would try to get sleep, and he would slither down that hallway and eat one of my vassals.
Is he like a water snake?
Was it a snake?
Listen, there's a water monster. I'm from way underground. There's not really a lot of water. I'm not terribly familiar with the ecology.
Sure. I get that.
Norman, can you ask him what color is the monster?
Or whether
Is
it
it-
has resistances to any particular types of damage.
From where we found you, from where our fight was the monster to the sort of northeast of that? Is that what you're saying?
The Northwest.
Northwest.
Northwest, right. That's what I meant. I just always confused
That hard
us.
woman knows.
She's a woman who's hard.
Just prior to entering this Morlock Lord's chambers, we were in an area that was damper. There were boats, and we saw signs that a large creature had moved through.
A snake-like creature.
Yeah, I suspect it must be inhabiting that cavern we've seen now from two sides, but have yet to explore.
Did
I
you all
was-
ever figure out anything you could do to manage it, or you just avoided it?
Well, I was hoping to get you to kill him, and instead you just kept bowing to me. It was insane.
Yeah, it was a confusing time for all of us, but we've grown and
Hey.
learned a lot.
Hey, Norman, he said something about treasure.
You said something about treasure?
Yes, we brought offerings to the Ghost Queen. It kept snatching them away from us and swimming away with it.
Oh, so if we killed that thing, there might be a lot of treasure that it had hidden somewhere.
Ask him if this water monster was some sort of a water dragon, river dragon.
Did it have wings or just no,
Oh,
legs?
yes, it does have wings and legs. Well, flippers, sort of. It's a light greenish bluish color, and it would hiss at me and spit at me and eat my friends.
Oh.
So it's probably
Gosh.
not like one of those worms we saw in the other room then. That was what I was trying to... Because
Yeah.
those were purple, right?
No, it was not a purple worm.
Green-blue water monster with
Green
flippers.
blue water snake dragon thing, yes.
Yeah.
Ask him what else he's seen, but that. Well, we should ask more about the library and whether or not he's seen anything else below. But maybe we start with the library. Eh?
How many stairs did you climb up from where you came in to get where you were living?
27.
Individual or flights?
I'm not sure.
Look on Lars's face.
Let me just check this module.
I just-
How many stairs there are?
No, sorry.
many
I mean,
flights?
like, did he come
Stories.
from the 3rd floor or the 4th floor?
We
Yeah.
entered the structure and the floor below ours.
I
and
see.
We
So you
thought
the
we had found our
library.
new home. And then suddenly these rampaging blue maniacs killed us all and got us sick, and we ran for our lives.
You said they gave you a disease. How did people get sick?
Oh, they were bitten by those horrific monsters, and we had to leave some behind because we did not want to get infected and to taint the land of the Ghost Queen with an unholy blight.
Oh, so they have poison bite.
So you
It's a
didn't.
disease bite. It's a slightly different game mechanic.
Everyone seems to get all these interesting bite mechanics. It's so frustrating.
Disease. Everyone but Norman's got a bite mechanic.
I've never bitten. No, wait, no, I do bite people. Sorry, I do. I forgot.
Just kidding.
I forgot that I cast spells and I bite people.
And Trill takes a step back.
As he snaps in the air a couple times to demonstrate the prowess of his bite.
So what's next for you, man?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
And what's your biggest weakness as a cultist?
I am being punished by the Ghost Queen. I will endure my punishment until either it kills me or until I become stronger. If I live, I will lead another pilgrimage to satisfy the immortal Ghost Queen. And if I die, then others will rise up in my place.
Why would you tell me something like that? I thought here we might come to like some nice agreement that you could help us out, you wouldn't go back to the keep, and I could let you go back to your rock.
Oh, no, right. Yes, I mean, I would give up and move back home and be a good boy.
A bug farmer underground.
He's saying he thinks he could be a good boy, but I don't know. It's one con man to another. It doesn't seem that believable.
The two other things that I sort of like scrawled down on this piece of paper were whether this guy's ever heard of Volok.
I do not know that name.
No, right. We saw two of your flock. They seem to be constructing a siege weapon.
Yes. Yes. Were you impressed with it? Ask him, was he impressed? Or ask her, was she impressed by it?
It's really important that you say you were impressed by it. I get the sense.
Yang, bo.
Good morning.
Oh, good
Yes.
morning. Yes, we found the fortifications that the Ghost Queen had left behind throughout the floor of our holy territory, and we stripped them all out and messed around with them and set them all up in a hallway so that morons like you might step into that hallway and then get shot over and over again. But it seems as though you may have gone a back way and didn't ever enter that room where we put all the siege weapons that would kill you if you stepped into the room. But keep an eye out for it. You might be surprised at our ingenuity.
Norman, could you?
Which room, just so that we can really be surprised in a fun way?
Oh, it was the room leading to my throne room. That's why I was caught so off guard by you coming in from the door that water monster usually comes in to kill my people.
I see. Okay, yeah. So it's the main door to his throne room. So there's a bunch of weapons there. Okay, and then so Norman turns around, like, keeping an eye on this guy to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. So I think we've learned everything we can from him. What does everyone want to do with him? Should we let him go? That doesn't seem right. He's just going to go back.
He's the reason Joffrey's dead.
Yeah.
We have to bring him to Jeffrey and Befree for justice.
Well, we also have to break to them. They thought maybe we'd bring Joffrey back, and we're bringing him back, but I don't know that anyone's going to be that excited about it.
Yeah, I should probably be the one to tell them that.
Let me do it, Norman says.
Are you sure?
Here's what I'm thinking. Do you like Befree? Do you want to get back together with her? Where are you standing on Befree these days, Trill Girl? Hit me up. You still want a piece of that? What's going on?
You can do better than her, Trill.
I don't like people who lie to me. I know that. I've spent enough time on my own to know my own worth and value, and I know I got caught up with a pretty face. But I still have feelings for her, and I still had a relationship with her, and I feel like it would be taking the easy way out if I didn't find some closure there.
Why don't you let me talk to her first, and then you be the one to bring Joffrey, and or I can bring Joffrey, and then you can bring the Morlock. However you want to do it. But she said some things to me I'm curious to follow up with her on.
Trill raises a purple eyebrow. She said things to you?
I mean, come on, Trill. You've noticed. She'll say whatever she thinks you want to hear.
She called me meat.
I guess you didn't want to hear that. You're not meat, Mag. You're so much more than meat. You're a hard meat.
I don't like the way she spoke to you, my hard woman.
Like jerky?
I'm starting to realize we haven't had dinner yet. I'm kind of craving some jerky now.
Thanks.
What time is it, Lars? Like in the night?
Around 10:30, 10:40.
And are the bars in town open that late? They must be.
Some of them are for sure, yeah.
Okay. So I guess stepping out of the game, we need to keep an eye on this Morlock, right? We can't just let him, we could tie him up or whatever, or knock him out, but
I think that he's incapacitated enough. Like, you've got him tied up, you knocked him out. He is having a crisis of faith. This dude is in no condition to escape.
Okay.
I think you guys would be able to come up with a plan to secure him.
Okay. Well, why don't you all get some rest, and I'll go break the news to Befree and Jeffrey and Meffrey, and then in the morning we can bring the body over and figure out what they want to do with it. It might be easier for them to hear it before they see him. I think Rin has some extra rooms. I mean, there's my room down the hall, but there's some other places if you guys just want to crash here for the night.
That sounds right. We need to make sure we stay with this Morlock. I don't like to think what would happen if the rest of town saw it here.
Oh, I guess I'm kind of sleepy.
And Rin tucks her head into the room and says, of course, although it is open to the stars, I find that the stars provide a certain comfort that help me sleep through the night.
Same.
I'm happy to take first watch.
Trill kind of curls up like a puppy somewhere.
Mag also curls up like a puppy. Goes to sleep.
A Saint Bernard puppy.
And Norman is going to go to Crook's Nook now.
Now.
Yes.
Got it.
Should we, just before we go to sleep, just to help this poor, honestly, I do feel kind of bad for the guy now. Maybe put a bag over his head, so that when the sun comes out, we aren't fully torturing him with blinding him with the light.
We get him a little falcon hood.
Yeah.
Hey, Rin, do you have a dragon hood or something around?
All I have is a Morlock hood. Is that helpful? Do you want a Morlock
that'll
hood?
do. That'll work. Yeah, we can make that work.
No.
Okay.
And
yeah, sure, absolutely.
Norman says, hey, bud, we're still figuring out what to do, but do you want a little bit of rest? Put this hood on. It'll help you relax.
No, don't. Oh, this is nice. Oh, no, okay, yes. No, this is good. Thank you.
He likes it, Ren. Thanks.
From the ground, Mag is watching this and says to herself, I always wondered what those things were for.
So the three of you, Mag, Trill, and Vadim, settle in at Rin's Wonders, and Norman goes off solo to Crooksnook.
Yes.
Okay.
He steps out of Ren's tent and he takes a few minutes to put on a disguise. He disguises himself as a humanoid woman, sort of middle class and just everyday woman clothes. But he's got a blonde wig, a sort of sweater and a skirt. He takes his shoes off just because he hates wearing shoes. And he's heading to Crooksnook.
Strap yourselves in, kids.
This episode is just becoming peak Norman. I'm loving this.
Would you say that you're dressed at all like Laura Dern in Blue Velvet? Is that like kind of what you're doing? Like,
I'm good with that.
Okay. Okay, so you step into Crooksnook, and it is a fire day night, which is to say that it is getting on to be the weekend. So it is a raucous and fun time at the Crooksnook tonight. You look around the room, and you just see like the typical crowd of reprobates and criminals drinking and having a nice time. Smoke fills the air as you push through the door, wearing this outfit.
So Norman sort of smiles coyly at the nearest friendly-looking person near him and grabs their drink and downs it to give himself a little bit of courage for what he's about to go do. And he's looking for either, thanks, he says to whoever's drink he just drank. He's looking ideally for the doctor.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah, he really liked Trill's music.
He's got a tattoo of Trill on his arm.
Yes!
Still red.
Fan art!
It's being done right now. There's a guy stabbing him over and over again in the shoulder.
Right, it's a poke tattoo. He's looking either for the doctor, the big burly doctor who was caring for the triplets, or for Yin Yasmer if the doctor's not around.
Neither one of them is around, but you could ask to figure out where either one of them is.
Okay, so he tries. He's sort of making his way to the back, like, hey, anyone seen what was the doctor's name? I don't remember the doctor's name.
I think that we just only have called him the Doc so far.
All right, anyone seen the Doc? I've got a question for him.
Doc's not here. If you're looking for Yin Yasmer, she's upstairs.
Okay, so he heads. I mean, I guess I'm not clear with the stairs in the back room. I assume you have to go through the back room to get to the stairs,
you have to go
right?
through the back room, but you're able to slip through that door, and you find yourself in that back storage room, and you see the stairs leading up. No
Okay,
problem.
so he goes in there. Oh, hello. I'm a friend of the triplets. I'm visiting from out of town. I came to see how they're doing.
And you see Yin Yasmera, she is working on a ledger. She's like writing notes. She has like reading glasses on in this attic room. And you also see Jeffrey and Mefree in that back room packing up bags. Not paying any attention to you.
Okay.
But they seem to be packing.
Okay, and is Befree anywhere to be seen?
Befree is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, hello. I got a note that Befree and her brothers were hurting, and I came to check on them. Hello, boys.
I'm going to say that you get the feeling from stepping into this room that you will be able to have a quick talk, but like you're going to have to obscure yourself like behind the door. Like you're not going to be able to step in without them noticing who you are.
Okay. Oh, hello. I'm looking for Befree.
Yin Yasmera looks up and says to you, well, she's moved on. I believe she's staying at the Rowdy Rockfish now. It's not a great time. There's kind of a lot going on right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I help?
One of the triplets turns towards you. Not unless you can convince our sister to leave town with us. She's decided to stay behind for some reason.
Oh, where are you boys going?
We're going back home.
That sounds very trying, but your sister, she wants to stay.
Yes. And we told her, we are family, you must come with us.
What did she say?
She refused to talk to us. We had a fight, a grand mal, and we have gone in opposite directions. And les quadruplets incroyable Jeffrey will be no more.
Well, you go back to being Lange triplet. Anyway.
Oh, you know of us.
Yeah. Oh, everyone. You boys are fantastic. So, this is very helpful. I think you all should stick around until at least the morning. Something in my heart just tells me you might get some news. But you said the rockfish.
Yeah, she's a rowdy rockfish. Who are you? And she squints to try to get a better look at you.
Oh,
as you're like behind the door.
Just a friend who got a letter. Au revoir. And Norman turns on his heels and heads towards the rockfish.
You find your way to the Rowdy Rockfish, which is a place that you've actually been before. Oh,
that's the mural.
Yeah, the mural showing the ancient god Eredin lifting the Isle of Kortos from the water. This is where you went after Haplo's funeral. When you went after Haplo's funeral, it was midday. It was empty. Right now, it is super crowded. And it seems like everybody in the bar is mad about not being able to get a drink. Like the service at the bar is incredibly slow. But you manage to spot Befree in the corner, her head slumped over her drink, looking miserable.
Yet again, Norman, as Barbara takes another drink off of someone's table nearby and chugs that, he was sort of all ready for a Befree encounter at Crooksnook. So sorry, was that yours? Sorry. And then like kind of...
Hey!
I'll get you another
that's
one later.
That's the one drink that's been poured in this entire bar.
Oh, oops.
She drank the drink, get her!
Oh, now, boys.
Roll for initiative.
It's a 1 on 50 fight. Frankly, the game is not balanced for this at all. Let's see what happens. So you slip through the crowd, snatching sips and blending in.
Trying to look natural. Is there a seat anywhere near Befree where Norman could kind of sidle up?
Yeah. Befree is like on a two-top, I guess, is what you would call it. She's sitting by herself on a stool with her head slumped over this drink. The stool opposite her is empty. It seems as though nobody else in this bar is interested in participating in the negative emotions that you see coming off of this person.
Okay. So when Norman gets about, 6 to 8 feet away, as Barbara, he gives out a shriek and he goes, Barbara? Is that you? And he goes and like sits in the chair across from her.
So I'm going to say that a deception check is not going to be necessary here, because she looks up at you and she says, there's only one person who I have ever suggested my name is Barbara to. And she squints at you. And that's you, Norman. What are you doing here, and why are you dressed like Laura Dern from
And he sits down and he goes, I think for tonight you'll call me Barbara.
No, I'm calling you Barbara now.
That's
I'm
right.
a Barbara. You are a Barbara. Just a couple of Barbaras hanging out here
I
at
had
the
a whole
Rowdy
story
Rockfish.
for you. I was going to be Barbara de D'Artagnan. I was going to have lived in your parents' apartment complex, but I'm glad we can cut through that bullshit. Talk to me. What's going on here? I saw those brothers of yours. They're leaving town, but you're staying. How come?
Don't you ever get tired of the lies, Norman? I thought that I would write a letter and those 3 gentlemen would come and I would be rich beyond my wildest dreams. And now I'm here. They are trying to get me to go home with them. You know they are not my brothers. I cannot return to a place that is not my home. And so now I feel the noose closing around my neck. And frankly, Norman...
Barbara.
Barbara, sorry, I forgot the premise of the situation. Frankly, Barbara, it is because I have lied to you now. It is because I have lied to you in the past that I feel bonded with you now, and I feel like I can speak to you eye to eye.
Mm-hmm. Why are you still using that accent? Surely that's not how you really talk.
This is actually my accent. this was real.
So you're also Galt?
Yes, but my family is from Galt, and I figured the fact that I have this incredibly thick and precise accent would be enough to convince
And discuss.
those three to help me rob that place.
So can he sense motive?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a blind perception check.
Blind general.
So, yeah, you get the impression that she is telling you the truth. Like, you don't get a sense that she is lying to you. She can see that she has put herself in a bad situation. And she looks at Barbara, and says, "So, did you ever wind up telling Trill that lie that I told you?"
That they're really your brothers?
No, the one about Barbara, the D'Artagnan, and the building.
No, I haven't told them anything. They can't handle lies. They get all bent out of shape. Next thing you know, the tall one's slamming her head into a tree. You have to spend hours and hours making it up to them. Of course I didn't tell them.
You're a good friend. You are a good friend. I thought that if I told you that story, it would drive a wedge between you and Trill. But I see now that the trust that you share is why you travel together.
Yeah, I guess we've got each other's backs. So, are you still into Trill?
Oh, Trill. What does it matter? Do my feelings about her matter when I have so irrevocably destroyed what it was that we had?
Well,
I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to move forward.
but then why are you staying in town? If you wanted to move on, why not leave?
Well, I'm going to be leaving. I'm just not going to the home of those people, of those triplets.
Well, I have some sad news about that. They're not triplets anymore. We found Joffrey, and well, they sacrificed him just like you told them to.
She looks shaken. She says, "Oh no, he could not be saved?"
Oh no. He could not be saved. He was real dead when we found him, but surely you knew when they took him. Why are you surprised?
I guess I was an optimist. I assumed. I never imagined things would get this bad. I need to talk to Trill. I need to come clean with her.
What are you going to say to her?
That is between me and her, Barbara.
I appreciate you calling me Barbara, so I'll leave that one be. Well, you're leaving town, but you're staying for a little while.
I'm packing and leaving as soon as I'm able to go. I will hit the road.
All right. Well.
But he's dead. Are you sure?
Oh, very sure. We carried his body all the way back. We found the guy though who killed him.
You did?
Yeah. He's actually kind of a nice guy. I mean, he got wrapped up in this whole cult Ghost Queen thing. Did you hear about the Ghost Queen from them? That's what Nyang Nyang Bonobo means.
Yes, of course. I speak Undercommon fluently.
Oh, and so from here on out, Norma, just to, like an exchange student switches into Undercommon for the rest of the conversation. Me too now. It's great.
It's very good.
Yeah, thank you. I've got my eye on you, though. What's your real name?
Here we go.
My name... It actually is Befree Longfoot. Not many people know this, but I am, in fact, a halfling. Even though my feet are of normal length, and I am slightly taller than you would expect. I am myself a halfling. Befree, Longfoot.
And to try and test her. What were your parents' names?
Mephistopheles and Frankenstein, Longfoot. I don't...
He's just trying to test her. He wants to see if you know.
So mean.
Wait, what was mean?
Asking you for the parents' names.
Zoe asking me for the phone book of Befree's upbringing.
Asking for all of the halflings of Galt.
My social security number is 777-777-777.
Oh,
Well-
sexy.
I hit the jackpot.
I know Trill wants to talk to you too, and I'm gonna make sure she does, but I need to know you're not gonna hurt her.
You do not need to know anything from me, Norman. I have things to say to her. The heart needs to communicate to the heart. And frankly, although I trust you in some ways, because I know you are a liar like myself, the things that I have to say to Trill are just for her.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not gonna go prying into details, but let's be clear. I kind of hold all the cards here. I mean, I could just say to Trill, I could go back and tell Trill whatever I want, and she won't talk to you.
If that is what you must do, that is what you must do. I will be leaving town. I would like to say goodbye. I would like to apologize. But frankly, what I want is not what I think I deserve. So if you tell me I do not get to say goodbye to Trill, then that is what it is.
I'll say this. If you hurt her, or I find out that you've lied to her, said anything that I know to be untrue, I'll make sure to find you and make sure you regret it. And with that, he gets up and goes in a flourish.
So Norman leaves this noisy crowd at his heels as more and more people jump up and down screaming for attention from the bartender who is unable to serve them drinks.
Much beleaguered by the day, Norman trudges back to Rin's, where he falls into bed and turns into AO and goes to sleep.
As he passes, Vadim waves and then goes back to trying to explain to the Morlock King each part of his Aldori dueling sword. You see, this is called the Ricasso. Can you say Ricasso? No, not Nang Yang Bonobo. No, Ricasso.
As he struggles against the bag around his head.
You'll get it. Have a good night, Norman.
Night, bud.
Mag has,
You look lovely, by the way.
Mag has managed to get to sleep amid all this by using a backup Morlock hood. So she's now asleep with a sort of misshapen leather-headed thing covering just up to the bridge of her nose and above.
So the four of you finally settle down for sleep. Occasional lamentations from this Morlock call up into the open sky from time to time. And in the morning, it's around 7 o'clock as the sun rises high enough for the light to fall into Rin's shop. After an hour of daily preparations, it's around 8:30. What would you guys like to do?
Trill's feeling brand new with all of these second level spell slots. Ooh, getting me settled in. She
Ready
feels
to greet
she's
the
done her
day.
daily preparations and feels fresh and ready, and has had her. What's the Galarian version of coffee? whatever Rin makes up of coffee, some sort of mushroom thing, right? Mushroom-based coffee.
It's a mushroom thing.
Yep.
Chaga.
Caffeinated mushrooms. I love it.
Oh, man, that was a good night's sleep. I feel more magical.
She looks around.
Okay, so today we go and we talk to Befree and Jeffrey and Mefree. And we tell them what happened. And she looks up at Norman. Okay, Norman. I'm ready.
So Trilla, I know Befree wants to talk to you. I didn't get a chance to tell Jeffrey and Mefree about their brother, but Befree knows, and she's got some words for you. I think you should be ready to find out that she's leaving, but
Wait,
we spoke briefly last night, and I know she wants to see you before she goes.
she's leave? I'm confused. Okay, let's go over to Crooks Nooks.
We could use some snooks.
And as you open the door to Rin's tent, Befree is already standing outside. She looks at Trill and she says, I followed Norman home. I knew you would be nearby.
Barbara.
And you, Barbara, Trill, you and I, we need to talk. And we'll pick up from there next time.
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. The Roots of Ruin uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's Community Use Policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way. Original characters and content are the property of Tabletop Gold. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Email us at letters@tabletopgold.com and find all our social links at tabletopgold.com.